I sure hope y'all all right out there. I sure hope y'all all right out there. Hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all. Radiant, vibrating, emanate being the best illustration in your highest demonstration. You hear me? For real. you gotta you gotta have the map to find your purpose. Then you gotta have the passion to fulfill it. Boy, I tell you, cause y'all know like I know, and being in places and being the places of your soul that I go into in mine, your spirit to take you some places. Some of y'all gonna get it. You hear me? And some people may not at the moment. You hear me? But if you on a spiritual path, you know, trying to elevate your mind, you know, to your divine state, elevate your mind into the divinity of your soul. you see everything different. I know I come on here, I talk about a lot of things. I talk about a lot of things. I go into life in ways that you won't hear nowhere else. You know, to be modest, you won't hear nowhere else. But it's for a reason. It's for a reason, and that reason bigger than me. The reason way bigger than me. You know, the ancestors, but most of all, you all that's still here with me. The ancestors don't transition in their travels, wherever their travels may be. You hear me? And we trying to raise ourselves to our highest state, to our highest estate. You see, a Godhead. So when our time comes, you know, we able to travel. You know, how we want to travel. You know, and not have to travel back. we keep traveling forward and higher. You hear me? For those that know, you know, and for those that get it, you gonna get it. You hear me? For real. How do you grow if you can't let go? How do you grow if you can't let go of piss poor attitude? How do you grow if you can't let go who you used to be, your old behavior? You hear me? How can you let go if you can't let go of your old thoughts? How can you grow if you can't let go? People that represent the old part of you, because it's no longer who you are or who you intend staying trying to be. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. How you gonna grow if you can't let go them old places? Them places that get you caught up. And I'm talking to my brothers and my sisters. You hear me? The men and the women. How you gonna grow if you can't let go? Them old places. Them places you know you ain't got no business being. Not because somebody outside of you say you ain't got no business being there, you see, but somebody inside of you that be telling you, you know you ain't got no business over here. What you going around there for? Why you don't go to that store. Go to the other store. Don't go to don't go to the, I'm just trying to use another analogy. Don't go to the laundromat, in town. If you ain't got no wash and dry, you don't go to the laundromat in your community. Go to the one out of bounds. these things that we be having to listen to in order to grow, because they be initiations. You know, how you gonna grow if you can't let go certain things? Certain things, like when you do something, you know, out of all the things that you do, but when you do something, you know, it may be one thing, it may be many, but when you do something, and something you let you know, something you checking your body, but you still do that something out of all the things you do. How you gonna grow if you can't let go? I just came to talk a little bit. How you gonna grow if you can't let go certain communications? Certain people you communicate with, or the way you communicate. It ain't gotta be nobody else. The way you communicate. How you gonna grow if you can't let go? How you communicate? If you still communicating about things that ain't on nothing. Ain't got nothing to show you. Ain't got nothing to show you, or listening to it. Things that ain't got nothing to show you. You see. So if it ain't got nothing to show you, what it ain't telling you, it ain't nothing to tell. It ain't telling you nothing. You know. Whether you doing it or you listen to it, how you gonna grow if you can't let go? Because them come with the people. You see. You see, and the people come with your attitude or my attitude, because I'm talking to myself too. I'm trying to show y'all how all this stuff connected. What your attitude determines by way of your thoughts. Attitude, behavior, thoughts. You see, not necessarily in that order. Attitude, behavior, thoughts. Or thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. People, places, and things. Are y'all connecting it? Communication. What we seen growing up by the people who raised us wasn't always right. It wasn't always wrong, but it wasn't always right. The things we heard wasn't always wrong or wasn't always right. The communication. It wasn't always wrong, but it wasn't always right. But it helped shape and mold us. You see? Which leads me to interaction. The interaction we seen wasn't always wrong, or wasn't always right. But what is wrong and right? Outside of just the judgment that we put into what we feel wrong and what we feel right. Because all of us don't feel the same thing as wrong and right. So if all of us don't feel the same things wrong or right, beyond some of the things that we do feel, we do agree on about being wrong and right. What's wrong and right? See, I just came to talk to us a little bit, man. You know, because I've been feeling like I'm in the pressure cooker. You know, picking up on all the collective. You know, I won't say mess, but picking up on all the collective stuff, good, bad, and indifferent. But the energy been intense, the energy been thick, the energy been heavy. You see, you feel me? These transits, you know, whether you partake in planetary, you know, patterns and how they may affect us or not. Whether you partake in that or not, these transits causing a lot of transitions, you know, to give us an opportunity to transmute a whole bunch of mess, a whole lot of energies, you know, and integrate those energies at the same time, or integrate the wounds, you know, at the same time in our shadow, you know. That's why shadow work is so important, because the shadow hold all the wounds. The person that we look in the mirror and see is the one that try to keep them keep them covered up, keep them hidden. You know, yeah. But these transits, it's been heavy. I had to sit back. I had to sit back in the darkness of myself. You hear me? And let my light talk to me for a few days. You know, cause at first, cause I ain't been on it like I need to be on it. You know, especially being an empath, and I do be feeling, the movement of the movements. You hear me? These trends is causing a lot of transitions, man. It's giving us, ain't no better opportunity than right now. Like for real, kings and whether you consider yourself a king or a queen, a god or a goddess, you hear me? You know, Naka, and and a Naki, or whatever whatever you on, Kemet, Ra, you hear me? You know, um, Yama y'all or Batala or Risha, whatever time you on, ain't no better time than not, to do that womb work. Otherwise known as shadow work. Ain't no better time than right now. Especially if you seeking higher vibrations, for elevation. Cause ain't no elevation without higher vibration. Don't care what we accomplish on the physical realm of things. You know, higher vibration, higher vibratory elevation. For external transmutation. That's why, just to use, I don't even be on it like that, but everybody knows Diddy going through a major trial. You see, now you'll figure why would he find himself in those situations? Because by the accusations made against him. Everybody can't be lying, but I'm just saying, when with the accusations against him and the type of accusations against him, and just what's going on in the trial ain't the only accusations that don't been made about him. He been in the record industry a long time. You hear me? So, the elders always say, if people saying that, if more than one person saying the same thing, we got to be some truth about it. We ain't talking about gospel. We talking about victims. But I'm just using that as an elevation. Don't nothing happen by incident. Now whether he get up out of that or not, that's a whole nother story. You see, because to some degree, that got a lot to do with planetary transits too. For those that know, you know. You hear me? But yeah, I just came to talk, man. I ain't really that no. I just came to talk with y'all. You hear me? For real. Share some of my mental observations. Cause mental observation provide greater analyzation. Or or sticky situations. So I just came through to communicate with us. To maybe drop some things that are for those that's meant to catch it. Keep you out of some sticky situations. Through this mental observation, that you're able to provide yourself with by listening to whoever find themselves on the other side of these words. But greater observation provide greater or neutral observation, because you gotta be neutral. You see, you gotta be in the middle. You can't be on, my grandma used to use a scripture that say, don't let your left hand know what your right doing. So in order to be in that, and that don't mean that you don't know, that you're not aware of what your left and your right hand doing. They just used to say, don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. They ain't say nothing about don't be aware. For those that's listening, you won't miss it. But yeah, they used to say don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. So that means stay neutral, and staying neutral means being centered, being balanced. being in harmony, being in sync, being in alignment, being in synchronicity, being able to hear through what you see, and being able to see through what's heard. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. Well, how do you grow if you can't let go? See, the last thing we was talking about was interactions. See, and that's because I was trying to think, man, what made me go to that P Diddy thing? Interactions. That would add on to the interactions. You know, then after interactions, we gotta be aware of unhealthy habits. Cause how you gonna grow? How do you grow if you can't let go? Unhealthy habits, but not unhealthy habits in the opinions or judgments of something external to you. You know, unhealthy habits. You know, that you feel uncomfortable, that you feel uncomfortable within yourself and about yourself. Unhealthy habits. You know, it ain't gotta be nothing physical. Unhealthy habits come in the form of mental dis-ease too. Not disease, dis-ease. Cause you can't get it if you ain't got no dis-ease. You know, it'll protect you from disease. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. Unhealthy habits. Unhealthy habits create unhealthy patterns. You know, but you can tell a lot of, but you can tell a lot about a thing, you know, place or person by paying attention to the patterns. A city, town, you know, yeah, or him or her. The things, you can tell a lot about a person by paying attention to the patterns, you know, because patterns show you cycles. Patterns show you cycles, and depending on whatever the unhealthy, you know, pattern showing you based on the unhealthy habits, you see, based on the interactions, you see, that bear and the interactions bear witness of the communication. You see, come on, man, we build it. How do you grow if you can't let go? Cycles. Modern day cycles, ancestor cycles, DNA cycles, cause that's where all the memory at, the traits, the characteristics. You hear me? Yeah. And then the emotions be the indicator. Cause if you want to know where you at, all you gotta do is check your emotions. Anytime you want to know where you at in the quantum field, all you gotta do is get with your emotions or pay attention to them, cause they're gonna show you where you at. You see, and we ain't always on the same wave all throughout the day. You see, it's too much shit happen in the course of a day, you know, for us to be on the same wave all day. It's too much we have to watch. We have to watch our attitude. That's why I said attitude first. See, because our attitude determines our altitude. We always thinking, but the attitude will change throughout the day, depending on the behavior. You know, we may hear, the behavior we may see, the behavior we may be interacting with, or the behavior that we may be acting out. Cause it ain't always somebody else, to the point that it ain't, you know, it ain't never nobody else. cause everybody else is just a reflection of you. So how we react, not how we. Everybody else is just a reflection of me, and I'm just a reflection of them. Whether I'm reflecting them or not, or whether I'm reflecting they actuality or not, or whether they reflecting my actuality or not. Cause I say everything we interact with is a mirror of us. Don't mean it don't mean it's gonna act like us. Don't mean it's gonna act like you, or they gonna act like you, or you gonna act like them. Unless they acting like you and you acting like them, then you're a copycat. You see, then you biting. You hear me? And I remember when biting was a no. You know, which is just another form of, energy vampirism and creative vampirism. But that's a whole nother video. How you gonna grow? How do you grow if you can't let go? Cause the best part is the first part. You see, but we don't know that when we come here. We know that once we don't been here a while. And I'm talking about emotions. Emotions. The best part. And I say it's the best. It's the best. And I say it's the best part because it teaches us the most. regardless of, at least in my opinion, I won't say, contrary to popular belief, emotions teach us the most. Read all the books you want to. You can read all the books you want to and still be in ignorance. And we see that happen. We don't been subject to make it happen. Our emotions. Our emotions. Yeah. The best thing, cause it's where the power at, and the emotions, GPS. Emotion is our guidance system. You hear me? GPS, man. But yeah, I just came through to talk a little bit. How do you grow if you can't let go? Emotions, man. Emotions. It's so crazy, and the way I be thinking and building on stuff, we'll hold on to emotions that we know releasing poison in our body because the way it be making us feel. And how many of y'all don't been so mad it made you sick? How many of y'all don't been so mad or got so upset it made you sick? Your whole body got sick, stomach sour and shit. You just your head, you got a headache, your head hurt. And in most cases, about something that we ain't had no control over outside our emotions. You ever got mad about something that ain't had nothing to do with you, but you mad about it? Like a damn fool, you hear me? But yeah, we don't move like that, And if you real with yourself, I'm telling the truth. You hear me? Self-brutal honesty, Because you definitely can't elevate without self-brutal honesty, with this shadow work. But yeah, every interaction is a mirror, man. Reflecting the connection that we have within ourselves, through somebody else. Interaction begins that opportunity, man. to heal ourselves. You know, when we're observing something we don't like, or we interacting with somebody and, you know, according to, you know, the unlikable and the uncomfortable situations. Them be our chances to get that work done. But a lot of us be so emotional, too emotional, we don't even seize advantage of the opportunity. This is why people be getting. This is why people be getting tricked outside themselves. You hear me? Tricked outside themselves. That cause the lack of ability to train that inner animal, to tame that inner animal. Emotions. You're talking about emotions, man. You know. Yeah. Sometimes the journey on the way back up, way more rewarding than when you thought you was on top. And only the people who gonna catch this is the ones who thought they was on top and understand what I just said was showing them, or the ones who think they on top. You see, and life gonna have to show them what I just said. See, yeah. So when you do it from the inside out, or if you're doing it from the inside out, those are the ones who will get it. Sometimes the journey on the way back up way more rewarding than when you thought you was on top. Cause now it ain't got nothing to do with the world. See, now it ain't got nothing to do with people. Now it ain't got nothing to do with places. Now it ain't got nothing to do with things. You don't need no external validation. You don't need no cheerleaders with energetic pom-poms. You don't need none of that. Because you're stable in yourself. You know, for those who remaking themselves to be stable in themselves, you know what I'm talking about. Because when you're stable in yourself, ain't nothing outside. Because you know everything is a mirror giving you an opportunity, man. You know, to identify if it reflects you as you see yourself, you see, and or ignore it if it don't. I say it like that to keep it simple, you know. To utilize it if it reflect how you see yourself, or and because we deal with people all day, every day. Some we hold close, you know, through the frequency of love, big love. We got big love for them, you know, and things like that. But everybody that we hold in the space of love don't reflect us the way that we see ourselves. Cause they ain't in that space with themselves, and that's okay. See, I'm just pointing that out because that'd be another initiation. You know, different frequencies, different transmissions. You know, different abilities to be receptive and to hear. You know, but we love them, but they love us from the space they can, and us from the space that we can. You see, we don't even love from the same. we don't even love from the same spaces, cause you gotta really know what that is. I say it like that to keep it light. You gotta know what that is. You gotta know what that is. You know, unconditional love has boundaries. Unconditional love don't mean it ain't no conditions. It don't mean it ain't no boundaries. You see. See the thing, and I'm gonna tell y'all something you ain't never been told. The thing about unconditional love is those are the very things that it do have. Rules, boundaries, you know, borders, you know, guidelines, structures, discipline. Those are the very things that unconditional love have that conditional love don't. Conditional love will do way more to deprive and disrespect itself than people with unconditional love. People with unconditional love ain't, especially for themselves. They have it for you. Ain't gonna tolerate things that's not conducive. Ain't gonna tolerate things that they know gonna get them in situations. You see, they already don't learn. They already been that person. I know what it's like to be conditional. Bias. Prejudice toward this or toward that. I know what it's like to be all those things. I know what it's like to see. I know what it's like to operate from the shadow and know better. I know what it's like, and I knew better. Cause I ain't just start dropping jewels. I ain't just start spitting knowledge. I ain't just start sharing wisdom. I've been doing this. If you know how to listen, you could tell I've been around a few rotations. You hear me? But yeah, man. Yeah. I just came to talk with y'all a little bit though, man. Make sure I wasn't getting rusty, and I ain't talk like this with y'all in a minute. I've been putting in the frame kind of a little bit, but yeah, it's a lot going on. I just wanted to drop a few seeds, plant a few seeds for those who got fresh soil. Maybe somebody else will come pour some water on it, and the sun within you will make sure that it grow. You hear me? Yeah, but I just came through the drop a few things on us to stimulate our minds in a way that don't occur every day unless you rocking with me. You hear me? And I know I ain't been on here in like 4 days, but and it's 3:35 right now, and I'm full of adrenaline. I'm full of adrenaline, but I gotta find some way to calm my energy down, and I've been like this the last 4 days, because like I say, these transits, it's so intense, they got me on the field. I'm on the court. I'm in the game, coach. you hear me? And I'm coaching myself. I got you gotta control. If you ain't got your controller, somebody else got it. So I gotta keep my controller and in my spiritual hand, to move me through this game. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But yeah, I gotta make sure my control in my hand, in order for me to move through this game the way that I do. So when you gotta, like I say, I just said in a few videos, you gotta know how to fall back from yourself so you can see what yourself doing. So with the energy being so heavy, I knew that was the time for me to do that. That's the only time y'all really don't see me like that. When y'all don't see me, is I'm on my work. You hear me? Yeah, cause I'm in this thing with y'all. I'm doing my work. To keep me from getting burned out. You hear me? I know how to charge up. I know how to pull back and charge up. Keep me from getting burned out. Because I know what it's like to be moving around when you burnt out, when you tired, and your energy ain't right, but you still doing what you still got to do, if you still got to do it. But if you ain't still got to do it, and you doing it, then what's wrong with you? You hear me? But yeah, man, you can't change what you can't see, So, like I said, there ain't no better opportunity than right now. And if you energetically, and vibrationally perceptive, as well as receptive, you'll be seizing these opportunities like me. You hear me? Because big things, man. New ideas, better ideas. Um, um, so forth and so on. So forth and so on, man. Better impulses, better behaviors, better ideas, better mindsets, better behaviors. That's what it's all about. It's our chance to activate them, It's our chance to activate it. If you own that, cause you don't want to be in. If you trying to rise above where you come from, if you trying to rise above what you come from, not in the sense that you better than where you come from or what you come from, but if you're trying to rise above what you come from and where you come from by being better than you never been, even if you still may be where you come from, you see, and around what you come from, but you just trying to be better than you never been, cause you ain't here to be better than nobody. Or at least I ain't here to be better than nobody. I'm just here to be better than I never been. So I'm doing things that where I come from and what I come from ain't never did. I say the things that where I come from or where I come from ain't never said. You see? So yeah, that's what it's about. Ancestrally and all the other places, that I be when I be where I be through my phases, in order to get me into this space. You hear me? Right. Cause I did this. I did a few rodeos. You hear me? So yeah, just to help somebody else figure it out a little bit better. To create the changes that they want to see in their life, inwardly, and consciously, and energetically, and vibrationally. In contrast to what they used to. Yeah. In contrast to what we used to, because we can't stay in agreement with what we've been observing, through the eyes who observed for us before we observed for ourselves. Not if you tapping in, tuning in, and turning on, the Godhead within yourself. You can't identify in the ways that you was taught to identify. In most areas, of your life. Those things that I just had to learn for myself if I wanted to be an independent thinker. So I had to denounce it all and build myself back up brick by brick. You hear me? And it don't happen overnight. I've been doing this for a while. For a long time, those that know. So when I say sometimes the journey on the way back up way more rewarding than when we thought we was on top, it's the truth. You hear me? It's the truth. Yeah. It's the truth. But yeah, man. yeah, girl. Brethren, sister, God, goddess, man and woman. Yeah. Just came to be a mirror, every interaction, because every interaction is reflecting. So, those who reflecting what I'm mirroring, and those who mirroring what I'm reflecting. You hear me? Salute. You heard? Salute. But with that being said, I'm 40. I don't know when the last time I just went 40 minutes in with y'all. You know, but it's the first time for everything. You know, it feels good for no reason at all to be able to sit here and do it. You hear me? Cause this energy gotta go somewhere, so I might as well share it with the people. You know, through the words of some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, so you can come, you know, to assist you in your own. You heard? But I'm about to tell y'all, stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Thanks for the like, share, comments, questions, peace out, woos, love, offense, donations. You hear me? You want to get at me? My information in the description. You know, like, shares, subscribes. You know, man, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all, man. You know, I appreciate y'all the same way y'all appreciate me. For those of y'all who appreciate me, I appreciate y'all for real, and I appreciate the generosity. I'm thankful. You know, I express my highest and most gratitude. You hear me? Cause I gotta say that. I gotta say that, cause I do it. I do it for passion's sake. You know, I do it for passion's sake. You know, if I wasn't doing it, if I wasn't saying what I'm saying by way of this video, I'd be saying this to somebody that I know, and anybody that know me know that. You know, so yeah, this just was another lane. You know, that cause yeah, man, it's just different, y'all. It's just different. My mission just different. You know, my mission just different. when you know your purpose, when you know your purpose, and that's what you fulfilling, it ain't about nothing else. See, only the highly evolved. Only the highly evolved gonna get that. And what's so powerful about what I just said, man, it ain't even a highly evolved it ain't even a highly evolved that social media don't made it, man. For real. It ain't. Yes, you gotta be highly evolved to get what I just said, and what they saying highly evolved. Patterns, cycles, patterns, cycles, interactions. You gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention. Intuition, discernment. You gotta pay attention. In other words, you gotta use your senses. All of them, for real. You know, it's the passion. But until we do it again, I'm known as Saul. Be you how you be you. You hear me? Once again, stillness, abundance, love, light, health, and wholeness. I love y'all, Cosmic Consciousness family and soul tribe, peekaboos and passerbys. You hear me? Be you how you be you. One.